Welcome back, ladies, gents and Pikachus. I have a most important message to give you, the most important message I will ever give you. But I don't have the words, I can't arrange it all, it's so complex. I can see the pieces, I can see where they're leading, I can see the end game. But words fail me, I can't explain it sufficiently for you to understand and believe exactly what is going on, what I see that is happening. Imagine it like this. Somebody in the background is organising a war of attrition, Jew and Christian on one side, and the tribes of the Islamic Brotherhood on the other. And they are supposed to come together, and there's supposed to be a final winner when one side has exterminated the other. And they are supposed to proclaim victory and lead the world into heaven or paradise, depending on which side that you started on. But I don't see that as the eventual win or goal or the fate. What I see is the eventual winner being so depleted after that attritional war that somebody else will rush in just at their moment of victory and crush the last remnants of the so-called victors of the war of attrition. So whether that be Christian and Jew or whether that be the Islamic Brotherhood, whoever remains will be so weakened, even a really small, weak army could attack from the back and crush the remaining elements of all the men of God on earth and proclaim earth as their own, the tribe of the godless, solid with only each other. But how to convince people that this is true when there's no evidence, when there's only denials, when there's all the evidence to suggest that that is not true? I can't tell you, I don't know, but I can tell you this. If Jews and Christians beat Arabs, at the end, they themselves will be denied and annihilated. If Arabs beat the Jews and Christians, then it will be they who is annihilated at the end. So who is this shadowy, misty group who stays out of sight, who's planning and organising all of this in the background? It's the Chinese Communist Party. Of course it is. That's why at every single turn they shut down my message, they defraud me out of my money, they waste my resources, my energy and my time, so that I cannot formulate a message strong enough and well organised enough to convince even my own family. And they have no solidarity, my family. In fact, no one that I know is on the same side. They're just choosing the side they think is going to win. And they don't know which side is going to win. They don't want the fight to begin with. None of us do. I mean, what is war? War is death. Why would you choose death? Because you think that death is coming for you. And that's exactly what we have. Christians and Jews on one side think that ISIS and Hamas are coming for them. But on the other side, ISIS and Hamas think that the men of Christ and Yahweh are going to come and kill them. And like I say, when they eventually come together in a so-called inevitable holy war, and one side beats the other, the crumbs that remain will be easy pickings for the Chinese Communist Party to sweep away and claim the entire world for themselves. And then the world will have no God, no Allah, no Yahweh, no Christ, no Muhammad, nothing. Only solidarity, brother, comrade. So that's all I have to say really in conclusion to this. I don't know any better than you do how to put this into a more, a better format, to make it more palatable to you, to make it more believable to you. But I have faith myself that is absolutely unshakable. I absolutely know that that is the fate of this world. That this organised, constructed battle between Jews and Christians on one side and Islamic brothers of Allah on the other, they are being pushed together and called far right. Each one is called far right in their own lands, and the neutral sees both of them as far right. So eventually they're going to be pushed together and they will clash heads and they will wipe each other out down to the last man. And then when that happens, out pops the Chinese Communist Party and takes control of everything. So in the end they can defeat God and all the holy men on earth. And they won't even have to do most of the killing themselves. They'll just have to wait and see who survives and then just sweep up the remains. But who's going to believe that? Which one of you amongst you will ever believe that? Which one of you would ever think that such a treacherous, evil plan could have been put into motion years ago? And who will believe that it is happening right now? Probably none of you. But I know the communists believe it, because each time I make a video trying to tell you this, they come down on me like a ton of bricks, and they make sure I have no money, I have no viewers, I have no rights to speak. They take away my free right to speak, my personal sovereignty. And why are they attacking me, sat here in my lounge? I'm just one man. I don't have an army. I don't have God on my shoulder. I don't have anything apart from this microphone, this camera, and you and your ears. So I put it to you. Do you think it's likely that all these groups naturally oppose each other? Do you really believe that Jews and Christians want to kill all the Islamic people? And do you really believe that all the Islamic people want to kill all the Christians and Jews just because? I don't. I see the good in them all. I've met plenty of men of God from all sides, plenty of faithful Muslims with families and love in their hearts, really decent, good people who see a bright future for themselves if only the other side would leave them alone. But we never see that, do we? We never get peace. The nearest we were getting to peace was on the 6th of November, the day before Hamas invaded Israel. But of course they can go back in history and say, well, Israel invaded them. And then further back they invaded Hebrews, and before that the Hebrews invaded Acadia, and before that it was the Assyrians attacking the Sumerians. And so it goes further and further and further back, and there's never someone who's fully culpable. They're both culpable. But then I'll reintroduce the prospect again that somebody shadowy in the background has been organising this since the beginning. And now we're getting towards the end, the dusk of this eternal attritional battle. And who's going to win? Neither one is going to win. When your forces are wiped out down to the last few, how can you ever call that a victory? Or when you're using tactics like swooping in on parachutes and using rape and the capture of children and human shields, how can you call that a victory, especially in the name of any God, certainly a peaceful, loving God? But I return to what I said earlier. Allah has peaceful, loving, faithful Muslims behind him, and Yahweh has loving, peaceful Jews and Christians behind him, and Christ. So why don't we just stop all the killing and sit together at a table and think this through? In whose interest is it for Jews, Islamics and Christians to be killing each other down to the last man? And in whose interest would it be for Islamics, Jews and Christians to stop killing each other now? Not a single drop of blood past now should be shed. Sit together and discuss these things which I am proposing now. Peace, and then uniting the tribes of the holy men from all corners of the earth against the true enemy, the godless Chinese Communist Party. That's what I think, and that's what I work for. And I've been called mad, bad, evil, psychotic, crazy, deluded, all kinds of things. And I'll continue to be called things until the day which I die upon. But it's worth it for me to save who I can and what I can. I do not believe that the evil, godless, communist soldiers of evil and death will win the day. I do not believe that this world will be controlled by fascists and commies. I just don't. I will never allow myself to believe that. But like I say, I can't convince anyone. I can't even reach enough people to have the discussion because of the communist attacks on my channel. And that's the only way I get to speak. So I guess it's not me that it's down to. I've said my piece. Everybody knows how I feel and what I think. It's down to you. It has to come down to you. Since I am limited, I have been silenced, I'm put away in a corner and no one can hear me. But you aren't. You have your voice. You have your friends and family to speak to. You have your channel and your social medias to spread any message you want. So I'll leave it to you. You spread the message you think is right. You give the reasons you think are logical. and you have faith in the thing you think is going to happen, and your plan and your journey towards peace. How is the path looking for you towards that peace? And that's the end of this video. Because I'm tired, I'm not going to last forever like this. I mean, I'll fight till my last day, until my last breath. Of course I will. I have faith. Just like the Muslims, just like the Christians and Jews that we talk about that are at war right this second, killing each other for absolutely no reason whatsoever. More than they were wound up at the back with a bunch of lies and propaganda and pushed off towards each other to kill one another and eventually decimate their numbers down to a more manageable number so the communists can roll out and proclaim the victory for their own. It's so sad that it's come to this. But like I say, it's your voice that can stop it, not mine. I've done all I can. So that's the end of this video. I hope you understand, and I hope you know what to do, and that you do it as soon as you are able. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. I've never known such frustration as this. I can see the plan, I can see the beginning, the middle, and the eventual end. But I can't say any more than I've said. So it's down to you, my friends. It's down to you.